Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the evil roommate agreement. Imagine two sworn enemies, like Batman and Joker but with worse mustaches, decide to become temporary roommates. That's the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact in 1939, when Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union looked each other in the eye and said, "Let's not kill each other, for now." No one saw this coming. Stalin and Hitler basically slipped each other a note in history class that read, "Wanna not invade for a bit? Check yes or no." And then they both checked yes while smiling way too hard. But wait, it gets shadier. The secret protocol was like Google Docs for villainy. They divided up Poland and the rest of Eastern Europe behind everyone's backs. You get the East, I get the West, and no one tells the teachers. Rest of the world absolutely shook. Poland, tragically sandwiched between two bad dates. Cue the memes. When you hate each other but hate Poland more. Fun fact, this was so awkward that propaganda in both countries just swapped overnight. Cartoons went from evil commies to actually they're fine, I guess, overnight. Spoiler, like all bad roommate agreements, it was doomed from day one. The only thing holding it together was mutual sketchiness. In the end, the pact's collapse wasn't shocking. Just like all friendships built on secret land swapping and existential terror. Operation Barbarossa, Betrayal. Bros before, Blitzkrieg. June 1941, Hitler wakes up and chooses violence, again. Operation Barbarossa, the most epic "it's not you, it's me" text in history, sent at 4 a.m. Soviet Standard Time. Just 2 years after agreeing to not invade each other, Hitler does what every toxic ex does, breaks his promise spectacularly. The Nazis launched the largest land invasion ever, 3 million troops, 3,000 tanks, and about 1 million existential crises for Stalin. Stalin? Absolutely blindsided. The guy ignored like 87 warnings from British spies, German defectors, and even his own border guards. He thought Hitler was too busy harassing the British. Bro, no. Stalin's vibe. Surely he wouldn't. We had a pact. Reality check. 2 a.m. Existential crisis. He absolutely would. Suddenly, the Soviets are scrambling. People are getting sent to Siberia for mentioning the word invasion, and the world's weirdest frenemy status changes are happening in real time. This is the betrayal your therapist warned you about. Historical cherry on top. The Soviets literally burned their own houses and fields so the Nazi army would starve. Basically, you can have the house, but I'm taking the Wi-Fi and the snacks situation. And so, the doomed bromance ends, setting Eastern Europe on fire, literally and metaphorically. Pearl Harbor, surprise, when isolationism got ghosted. If World War II was a party, the US was the guy sitting in the corner with headphones on, pretending not to notice the drama. Then, bam, December 7th, 1941, Japan slides into their DMs with a full-on naval airstrike at Pearl Harbor. Surprise, but evil. The US went from Netflix and isolate to, all right, we're fighting everyone overnight. Conspiracy theories still swirl. Did FDR know it would happen? Twitter historians can't agree. What's certain, it flipped America's whole personality. One day they're anti-war TikTok. Next day they're streaming Saving Private Ryan on repeat. For Japan, it was supposed to be a preemptive flex. If we hit them hard, maybe they'll stay away. Plot twist. The US leveled up like it was the final boss fight. "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant," said Japanese Admiral Yamamoto, a line that reads like he just realized he poked a bear that bench presses battleships. The result? The US brings popcorn, tanks, and existential dread to every front in the war. Isolationism, official status, ghosted. Italy's sudden switch, pasta, surrender, repeat. Italy in 1943. First, Mussolini is like, yeah, Axis buddies for life. Then, plot twist, he gets sacked, arrested, and Italy literally switches sides faster than someone who just found out the party's cooler in the other room. The Allies invade Sicily, and suddenly half the Italian government's like, "So, can we join you guys instead?" Mussolini's ouster was hilariously chaotic. He was rescued by Nazis in the world's weirdest "bro, you good" helicopter mission, then forced to run a puppet government in northern Italy, a place no one wanted to live, including Mussolini. Italy's army? Technically fighting both sides. It was basically a messy breakup with Germany, complete with angry texts, awkward silence, and brutal custody battles over actual territory. Fun fact, Germans and Italians literally fought each other while still wearing the same uniforms, because they hadn't figured out new squad colors yet. The North goes Nazi, the South is Allied. Classic Italian split decision stuff. By the end, Italy is tired, broke, and just wants to go back to making pizza. World War II, the ultimate bad trip to Europe story. July 20th, Assassination. Plot. When HR really hates the boss. The ultimate "can I speak to your manager" moment, except the manager is Hitler. July 20th, 1944. A group of German officers, led by Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, attempts to blow up the Führer with a bomb under his conference table. The literal code name, Operation Valkyrie. Epic, right? Except plot twist, Hitler survives. The table leg got between him and the blast, proving once and for all, even IKEA furniture has saved lives. Hitler's revenge was instant and ruthless, of course. Over 200 people implicated in the plot were executed. HR at the Nazi regime. Zero chill. This wasn't the first time someone had tried to take out Hitler. There were at least 40 attempts. But July 20th was so close, it scarred Hitler permanently. He got his paranoid villain badge that day. As one conspirator put it, "We took our fate into our own hands and it slipped through our fingers." Ouch. The plot proved not even Hitler's inner circle liked him. It's the most dramatic "I quit" in history, and the greatest missed opportunity for a season finale twist. Yalta Conference secrets. European roommates picking bedrooms. Picture it, 1945, Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin lounging around Yalta like it's a bachelor pad, divvying up Europe as if they're picking bedrooms in a new apartment. "You get Poland, I want the Balkans. Those curtains, you, Stalin." But beneath all the cigars and faux friendship, Yalta was full of secrets. The big three made backroom deals that amounted to, "Sure, you can have Eastern Europe. Just please promise you won't redecorate it with tanks." Spoiler, Stalin redecorated anyway, starting the Cold War before the paint was dry. Roosevelt hoped Stalin would help fight Japan. Stalin just wanted security borders, which, surprise, meant controlling everything between Berlin and Moscow. Churchill, meanwhile, was just trying not to get out-negotiated on live camera. No one told the people of Poland, the Baltics, or basically anyone affected. The agreements created a Soviet sphere of influence that lasted until, like, 1991. As Churchill later said, an iron curtain has descended across the continent. It was less Netflix agreement, more fine print that'll haunt you for the next 50 years. Japan's abrupt surrender, ghosting the kamikaze vibe. August 1945, Japan will never surrender. The US, 2 atomic bombs later. Wanna try again? The vibe shift was dramatic. One week, the government's recruiting last-ditch samurai squads. Next, they're broadcasting the emperor's voice for literally the first time ever, saying, "Let's stop dying, please." The reason? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and a surprise Soviet invasion from the north. That, and the realization that, yeah, maybe fighting the entire planet wasn't a stellar long-term business plan. Turns out, when you see the sun explode over your city, the war starts to feel less winnable. The Japanese population was shocked, switched from total war mode to "guess we're ordering McDonald's with the Americans now," overnight. The surrender felt so weird, the word unconditional was debated for days. Fun fact, one Japanese minister tried to storm the palace to stop the announcement. Japan's surrender created shockwaves. One moment it's Bushido or bust. The next, game over. All squads log off. Thus ended the bloodiest multiplayer match in human history. Holocaust Revelation. Humanity fails its own vibe check. For most of the war, the Nazis kept their genocide low-key. Rumors and whispers floated around, but when Allied troops reached camps like Auschwitz and Dachau, absolute horror. The world's worst unboxing video, piles of shoes, mountains of glasses, the most haunting lost and found in history. People thought, no way, humans couldn't. But humans did. The realization that 6 million Jews, plus millions of others, were systematically murdered. Complete existential meltdown for all of civilization. As Elie Wiesel said, to forget the dead would be akin to killing them a second time. Photos and films shocked everyone. Not even seasoned soldiers believed the scale at first. The revelation changed everything. Human rights, conventions on genocide, the whole evil exists narrative. Hannah Arendt called it the banality of evil, how ordinary people can, step by step, become monsters. It was the world's harshest vibe check, and we're still living in its shadow. The final plot twist. Even in a war of villains, reality rewrote the limits of darkness. Found this video interesting? Leave us a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Let us know what we should cover next in the comments below.